Live from 24-hour News 8, this is Daybreak from the Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Daybreak. This morning, we're live at the brand new Richard and Helen DeVos Japanese Garden here at Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park. We're giving you an inside look before it opens to the public.
All morning long, we'll be taking you to different spots inside the garden and talking live with some of the people who made Fred and Lena Meyer's love of Japanese gardens a reality right here in West Michigan. But before we get into all of that, we of course have to check in with Terry DeBoer to see how that forecast is shaping up. A beautiful morning to start the day, huh, Terry?
It definitely is. In a word, tranquil. The weather conditions are peaceful out here as well as we get just this incredible sensory experience. I feel like we're one with nature out here. We've got the bullfrogs that are singing to us this morning, the birds that are chirping, and even some bugs that are just trying to get in on a little bit of the action. Of course, the water is so beautiful. We can hear the waterfalls off in the distance, and the sun sneaking up over the horizon. Just a lovely, picture-perfect West Michigan morning. Unfortunately, conditions are going to be changing here today. The weather becomes a lot more active as we head through the afternoon and evening. Temperatures this morning as you start out, you may want a light jacket or sweatshirt. This morning as you head out the door, as temperatures are holding in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees from Grand Rapids northward, a little warmer to the south. Unfortunately, yeah, we're starting out with the dry, quiet weather, even some sun expected this morning, but clouds will increase quickly today and we'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms developing. A huge complex in addition to the heavy rainfall that we are tracking through Iowa and Kansas and Missouri this morning. That area of active weather also has a lot of lightning included with it, and there will be the potential for some strong to severe storms along with some strong winds that will likely roll through with some of those thunderstorm complexes. So we'll keep a close eye on that for you today. In the meantime, temperatures fairly mild. I think we'll be up into the 70s by noon today with a high right around 80 degrees. And of course, coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll take a detailed look at that Storm Team 8-day forecast that does include at least partially dry weather for the weekend. We'll outline it day by day and then a look at a continuation of the overall warm and midsummer feeling weather pattern that'll take us right into the middle of next week.
It's 6:02. This morning we're in the heart of the 8-acre Richard and Helen DeVos Japanese Garden.
The chief curator of Meijer Gardens calls it a living work of art. It combines sculpture with ancient Japanese style and nature. Meijer Gardens CEO David Hooker told us the plan went into motion after the spring of 2011 when Fred Meijer said he wanted to create a Japanese garden. It was one of his last requests for the Botanical Garden and Sculpture Park. Hooker says Mr. Meijer wanted to give it as a gift to his wife Lena. And Hooker says what you'll see in the Japanese garden is really a love story shared with West Michigan.
It's Lena's love of plants and flowers and all things horticulture, and Fred's love of sculpture and their love of each other that says let's put those two things together and create an institution, and here we are.
At the entrance, you'll see the 28-ton boulder they placed to celebrate the very beginning of the Japanese garden almost 3 years ago.
There's a lot to see inside the new Japanese garden, as 24-hour News 8's Amanda Jarrett shows us. Behind every plant and stone is a purpose.
Yep, she's live across.
Good morning, Brett and Emily. It's a gorgeous view here on the bird viewing deck. And just to give you an idea of how big this garden is, we can't even see the anchor desk from where we are. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous garden, 8 acres full of hidden gems. So we went to find out what you should look for on your first tour of the Japanese garden.
Walk through an entrance immersed in nature and true Japanese culture.
It's extraordinarily detail-oriented environment, and nothing, literally nothing, has been left to chance. The placement of a tree, the placement of a boulder, the shape that the lake finally took, where the works of architecture have been placed, where the works of sculpture have been placed. It's all very intentional.
It's the task of a true designer, Hoichi Kurisu, and a huge team to make this newly planted space look as natural as possible. Trees planted at an angle to lean into the water. 4,000 boulders fill the garden, each placed with a purpose, either as a foundation or an accent. And in your tranquil walk, the loudest thing you'll hear, powerful waterfalls. Water, a constant theme for its purity, symbolizing a journey of sorts. You won't find a quick route here, no straight roads leading you to the end, only winding paths to keep you in the moment.
Its intent is ultimately to slow you down, to give you opportunity to be contemplative, to enjoy the peace, the tranquility of the environment, to really take in the beauty that has been planned.
Some of the most impressive gems are the structures, the beautiful zigzagging and curved bridges, and the tea house. All built in Japan, then taken apart, shipped here, and put together by 30 Japanese craftsmen on site. And if you look closely, you'll find stones sharing Japanese poetry, or hidden spaces to sit and enjoy the view. And the best spot we found? The top of the viewing hill, overlooking the 8-acre garden. Every piece touched by the designer for you to experience a bit of Japan with a Meijer Gardens twist.
And you really want to give yourself a couple extra hours in addition to your normal Meijer Gardens visit just to experience the Japanese garden. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to take you live inside the tea house, which is across the lake. And it was a must-have from Fred Meyer's vision, and now a reality. That's coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Amanda. Unless you're a member here at Meijer Gardens, you'll have to wait a few days before you can see the new garden for yourself. It opens to the public on Saturday. We have this weekend's hours for the full park listed on your screen along with admission prices, and we also have all the information you need to know posted right now at woodtv.com.
We have a lot coming up for you this morning on Daybreak. Coming up at 6:20 this morning, we'll be joined live with the Japanese Gardens lead horticulturist. And in our next half hour, we'll check in with Amanda again. She's going to have a sneak peek inside that tea house. At 6:40, we'll hear from Meijer Gardens, the chief curator.
All right, right now we want to get you caught up on some of the big stories of the day.
That's right. Let's send things back to Coco McAvoy. She's live at our Wood TV studio for a look at what's happening, including an overnight business fire in Kenwood. Good morning, Coco.
Good morning. That's right. The fire broke out just before 1:45 this morning in the 4000 block of Eastern Avenue in Kentwood, and it is considered suspicious. Firefighters at the scene tell our crew the building houses 5 businesses. One of them was destroyed in the fire, and the other 4 have smoke damage. Crews say when they got there, a window was broken and no one was inside, and it remains under investigation. We're also following developing news this morning. Former state representative Roy Schmidt, who made headlines for his party switching scheme in the 2012 election, is back in the news again after officers executed a drug search warrant at his home. Authorities spent nearly 2 hours at his home after an almost 2-month investigation. We spoke with family who says it's all about medical marijuana. His brother tells us it's all a misunderstanding.
He was commissioner in, say, the city for 16 years. He went to House Representative.
Investigators tell us this is still an ongoing investigation. And now to the latest in the search for 2 convicted murderers who broke out of a prison in upstate New York. Overnight, police investigated a possible sighting of Richard Matt and David Sweat. This morning, a state road near the correctional facility is still closed as police investigate a lead involving the escapees. The 2 convicts either escaped late Friday night or early Saturday morning using power tools to cut through a steel wall and bricks. And that's all I have for you right now, but I'll be back in our next half hour with more stories of the day. Let's send it back to you, Emily.
Okay, Coco, thank you. Before we head to break, we want to get you caught up on what happened in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Lightning led the series 2-1 heading into last night's game in Chicago. Things were tied up after 2 periods, but the Blackhawks were able to take a 2-1 lead in the third and hang on to it. The Hawks take Game 4, and the series is tied up again at 2 each. The series shifts back to Tampa for Game 5 on Saturday night.
Well, it's 6:09 right now, and stay with us. Still ahead, we have an update on how hockey great Gordie Howe is doing this morning as he undergoes stem cell therapy.
But first, we're going to check back in with Terry, who's looking at a pleasant start to the day, but tracking the chance of some showers later on. She's in next with your full 8-day forecast live from Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park, the new Japanese garden.
Right now, got to check in with Kevin Richards to see how your traffic is shaping up this morning. Hi, Kev.
Morning, Brett. Morning, Emily. We are clear and dry on most of the main roads in West Michigan. Still light, still mostly full speed. Couple of freeway problems going into Kalamazoo. Southbound 131 still closed at the business loop. Exit 41 because of the buckled pavement. Go into downtown Kalamazoo unless you have some way to get from D Avenue. And the other problems, Montague, southbound 31 at Fruitvale Road, exit 131. 1-lane squeeze. That's scheduled till 3 this afternoon. 131 at Hall Street, northbound and southbound. Okay. For 24-hour News 8, Kevin Richards, News Radio, Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Always tracking, always alerting. This is Storm Team 8.
Well, I think of all the broadcasts that I have been involved with in my 20-plus years of broadcasting here live on Daybreak every morning, bringing you the weather, this has got to be one of the most tranquil and beautiful and serene settings that we have ever been able to bring you a live broadcast from. We're, of course, here at the Frederick Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park at the brand new Richard and Helen DeVos Japanese Gardens, which is opening to the public, and I have to tell you, it is just incredible. A beautiful morning here in West Michigan too. You can see the sun sneaking up over the horizon, a gentle easterly breeze, and a few high clouds just kind of dotting the landscape just to bring us again the beautiful pinkish purple hue to the sky, which again will continue to unfortunately fade away as we head through the next several hours. That canopy of high mid-level clouds will continue to thicken up here in West Michigan as the storm system approaches from the west. So as we check out temperatures this morning, readings are starting out in the 50s and 60s, 58 now in Grand Rapids and in Ionia, 58 in Fremont, 54 degrees to the north in Big Rapids and Mount Pleasant, 68 in Kalamazoo and Sturgis. You can see here a live storm track live radar showing you quiet conditions this morning, but as we expand the view, you can see really heavy rain. The yellows and almost oranges showing up on the radar scan. It's an indication of some pretty intense storms going on right now. Locally heavy rain, frequent lightning in that entire area pressing eastward. And as it moves in, not only are we looking at the clouds increasing and the rain starting to fall, but we have a slight risk area of severe weather here in West Michigan from around Grand Rapids up toward Ludington, just south of Big Rapids over toward Detroit, down into Fort Wayne and Toledo. And that area, unfortunately, that will have the potential for severe weather does continue to grip West Michigan for later on tonight and then into the day tomorrow as well. So your Futurecast computer models will shake out like this. Morning sunshine giving way to increasing cloudiness today. The showers, thunderstorms developing possibly as early as noon or shortly thereafter. The rain heavy at times from Holland, Grand Haven, Muskegon off to the north as we head through the early evening hours. Overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, that area of intense storms will refire to our northwest, and that will sweep through early in the day tomorrow. So once again, we will be looking at more showers and thunderstorms developing tomorrow. And then as that presses eastward, we'll finally start to dry out later Friday evening and Friday night. So we'll be looking forward to a pretty quiet day Saturday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with highs in the mid-70s. Another active stretch of weather kicks off on Sunday with highs back into the low 80s. And you'll see those occasional showers and thunderstorms as we head through at least the first half of next week with highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s for the first full week of summer vacation for a lot of kids.
Oh, yes.
And I'm guessing
And
that this is going to be a must-see destination for so many families.
think so.
I hope it is. It is just incredible.
Well, so much to see around here, whether you're young or old or somewhere in between.
Oh, yeah.
Because this garden is an incredible addition to the garden that has so much already.
Oh yeah, a little more than 8 acres, and it's just, you really feel like you're being transported into a whole different continent.
Yeah, you
really.
do.
All right,
It's
thanks,
cool to be
Terry.
here on day
It
one,
sure
too.
is.
6:15 on the other side of the break, we're talking live with the lead horticulturist for the brand new Japanese garden.
And we'll take you inside the Zen garden. That's all on the other side of the break. Stay with us. We're back live from Meijer Gardens Japanese garden in 3 minutes. It was one of Fred Meyer's last requests for Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park, the addition of a Japanese garden. After years of hard work, that request now a reality and almost ready to open to the public. Well, joining me now to take us through this here and what went into creating this beautiful new space is Greg Affman. He's the lead horticulturist for this new space. We appreciate you coming on to talk about this,
my
Greg.
pleasure. My
Exciting
pleasure.
news. You're a Grand Rapids native.
Correct.
Who lived in Japan for 10 years and then returned to the United States in order to put this whole thing together.
Yes, it's just been a dream come true, really, to have this opportunity. I did bonsai and Japanese gardening in Japan, but I never had the chance to work with a garden at its birth. And so this is just an amazing opportunity.
This is kind of your baby.
Yeah,
It's been
it is.
growing
It
up
is.
right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that people are really interested in around here, and some of the things that you guys have done. One of those, I think, is how the trees bend in towards you as you're walking through.
That's very true. all the trees are meticulously placed, so we look for the face of the tree and then we angle the tree, kind of mimicking how it would react in nature. For example, if you're walking by a creek or a pond, you're not seeing vertical trees. They're slanted out over the water due to less competition and, you know, to get more light. And we're mimicking and doing that same thing here in our garden to give that appearance of maturity.
That's interesting. You're looking for the face of the tree.
Yeah.
How do you find that?
It sounds silly, but you just, after time, you just see it. You kind of look at the plant or even a stone boulder and you find out what area would be the best to present to the guest.
And as you walk through this garden, you'll notice that no boulder here has been randomly placed.
No.
Everyone's actually has some kind of thought put into it, right?
Oh, definitely. It's been amazing working with Hoichi, and he's probably placed 98% of these boulders by himself, and with our help, of course. And he's just always turning them around, looking at every direction before they're placed in the ground permanently.
What is the overall thing that you want people to do when they do walk through this garden? What do you want them to feel or to experience? Just
to come with an open mind and take in everything they see. Just, you know, kind of don't have any really have a preconception of what to expect, but just to absorb it, take it in.
Just let it kind of move you whichever way it's going.
Exactly.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in here to talk about this morning.
My pleasure.
It's really interesting, and we're really excited for the grand opening, so to speak, this weekend here, and the member opening today. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Emily?
Thank you, Brett. Right now I'm in the Zen garden. As you can see, it's a rock garden, but it's not just as simple as it may look. A lot of thought went into this. Take a look. There's small pebbles and large rocks. They were placed here in very specific places. In fact, the rake that goes into this whole process was specifically chosen by the designer of the Japanese gardens to make sure it's an authentic Zen garden. It's intended to be a quiet space for reflection and for our visitors here.
That it gives you a kind of space, it gives you a kind of zone in which to be calm, in which to be contemplative, and to reach that kind of experience that Buddhism in terms of contemplation really wants you to achieve.
Well, this is a really beautiful area of the garden, a lot different than what I've seen so far as I've been walking around. You don't see as much of the botanical, but again, more of the rock, a very peaceful area. There's places to sit and contemplate and to think, very tranquil area. Again, it opens to members of Meijer Gardens this morning and then to the public on Saturday. It's going to be a neat place to come. Brett?
Absolutely beautiful. All right, thank you so much, Emily. Straight ahead, everything you need to know about a 5K run tonight to support our local veterans. And crews worked through the night to repair US 131 southbound after part of the road buckled there. In our next half hour, when we can expect it to reopen.
And we certainly ordered up a picture-perfect morning for our live broadcast here at Meijer Gardens. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay this way. We've got a much more active afternoon and evening of weather coming in, along with increasing clouds, showers, and thunderstorms are on the horizon. Those arriving as early to mid-afternoon. We'll be back with a look at the rest of that Storm Team 8-day forecast, broadcasting live from Meijer Gardens as 24 News 8 Daybreak returns.
I believe it's soon.
Welcome back at 6:27 right now. This morning we have an update on hockey legend Gordie Howe. His son says Howe recently had more stem cell therapy in Mexico and is, quote, comfortable and happy. Howe's been recovering from a stroke that he had last year. His son Murray says his father is still taking part in a clinical trial where stem cells are used. Murray says he wants to wait until more of the trial is done before he provides more updates.
Tonight you can lace up and take off on a Kent County trail to support local veterans. The second annual Stars and Stripes Dash 5K is happening tonight at 7 at Millennium Park. It's $35 to sign up. Yet all of those proceeds go to Operation Injured Soldier, a group that helps wounded veterans in their mental or physical rehabilitation. We have a link for you at woodtv.com where you can register for this race.
We're waking up to a beautiful morning here in West Michigan, but unfortunately we're tracking the potential for severe weather later on today. We'll be back with a look at that 8-day forecast as 24 Hour News 8 Daybreak live from the Frederick Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park, and the brand new Japanese Gardens continues.